Hello, I'm Matt Davey Bones, and let's talk about pinball. Now, I never grew up playing pinball. I was that kid in the arcades always on tippy toes looking over the shoulder of taller kids as they played Street Fighter 2 waiting for my turn. Yes, that was the equivalence of multiplayer matchmaking back then. Anyways, now a couple of years ago, I was in a bar playing this beautiful pinball game where it looked like the designer went into a game workshop to buy a miniature scenery and jam it into the pinball cabinet so I could throw balls at it. And besides, when I was a kid, that was the only time I played one. Now, I may have not grown up playing pinball, but I could definitely appreciate it on a design and mechanical level. So for those unfamiliar with Pinball Fx2, it itself is free on Steam and comes with a free table, which is a really good table by the way. But the rest you buy individually or in a bundle. They have licensings to make tables from movies, TV shows, and comics, and they're made with a lot of care and quality. Now, I've had Fx2 for a long time and keep coming back to it from time to time as they keep adding new tables. However, not too long ago, they struck a deal with Bethesda to make tables based on 3 of their biggest games: Fallout 4, Doom, and Skyrim. Now, this video is not a review of any kind, I'm just a nerd for this shit. I like when games or movie licenses are passed down to people that know how to handle them with care. Okay, so let me stop talking shit and let's get to it. Let's start with Fallout 4. Now, in Fallout 4, you create your character, male or female, select your starting stats, then you'll get a companion at random that will give you a passive bonus. So like in the actual game Fallout 4, you progress your character by fighting and completing missions to gain experience in order to level up your stats. And also by finding Vault Boy bobbleheads that increases specific stats. So there are several objectives that you could tackle at once or all at the same time to gain experience and loot. Vault runs will have you enter a vault when it opens, where you'll have to hit certain flashing lanes till you find a bobblehead. All the while, a super mutant will try to ruin your day. Seriously, look at this asshole shaking the table.
There! Red! Crush!
What an asshole. And at the end, you will also have to try to survive an enemy ambush.
Time to shut you up.
Combat consists of 2 phases, attacking and defending. Hitting the enemies with the ball will do melee damage, while hitting the ramps, orbit, and mini loops will do shooting, grenade, or Fat Man damage if you have Fat Man ammo.
Nice try. Okay. Let's try this. Gonna be good fight.
Also, certain lanes will have you enter sneak mode or crit mode, so your next attack deal double or triple damage. The second phase is when the enemy attack timer starts, where you will have a certain amount of time to dodge their hits by hitting certain lanes. The agility attribute will increase the window time you have to dodge. Besides vault runs, there's also side missions that you can do which will give you XP and bottle caps. On top of that, there's also faction missions. Once you pass through certain parts of the board multiple times, you'll be given a mission from that faction. And once you complete 5 missions from that faction, you'll become a member, while the other faction groups will become hostile. Now, I haven't seen this happen because I'm nowhere near the skill that is required to even stay on the board long enough to pass 2 missions. But we'll just have to take the table guide's word that this does happen. So after taking damage from fights, getting radiation, experience, and loot, this table revolves around the shop. This is where you'll get various upgrades to your armor and weapons, where you'll heal and cure radiation, and also where you'll allocate points when you leveled up. Overall, out of the 3 Bethesda tables, this is the middle of the road in terms of difficulty in my opinion. There are enough narrow parts that could stop your ball dead in its tracks if you catch the edges, making precision pretty important to have a flow. And with the missions having a timer, good luck with your blood pressure. Also, with the RPG elements being right in the middle between Doom and Skyrim, they're light enough that they don't slow the flow of the game too much. I really dig this table. The better I get and the more I understand it, the more I like it. Alright, what can I say? This is what you'll get if you put Doom into pinball. Right off the bat, you're given a difficulty option. Where Hurt Me Plenty is the standard difficulty of any table, Nightmare will increase the score you gain, however, you won't get any extra balls, kickbacks, or ball saves. There are 5 missions that you could trigger at any time. The goal is to complete them to receive an Argent Cell from each that will increase your health, armor, or ammo.
That is pure Argent energy you've just taken into your system.
Unlike Skyrim or Fallout, the missions have no timer. However, the trade-off is they are usually longer to complete, with some feeling like an endurance match to see how long you could keep the ball in play. From time to time, you'll get attacked by demons. The demon on the right is the one that you're fighting and delivering the damage, while the demons in the center are trying to block your ball from entering some of the lanes that'll allow you to shoot back. Throughout your game, you'll get random guns added to your inventory after hitting certain parts in the table. Despite the starting pistol, each gun has its own ammo and a different effect that can greatly improve your time to kill depending on the weapon. It took me 3 shots with the pistol to take down this imp, while a Gauss cannon could take it down in 1 shot.
Enemy presence eliminated. Lockdown.
Anyways, there's more to uncover in this game, as throughout you can start events that will have you explode barrels, have hellstones get in your way, and as I was getting the last footage for this video, I turned into a goddamn demon. I mean, you see the theme here. There's a lot of things that the game doesn't lay out for you that you have to discover. Every time I put more time into these tables, the more shit like this happens, and it's awesome. Hell, I know you can even fight the Cyber Demon, but I haven't even seen it. Overall, out of the 3 Bethesda tables, this is the easiest in terms of difficulty. The lanes are wide and allow room for error when trying to shoot with precision. The missions may require a bit more effort, but have no timer, and the combat is pretty much straightforward. This is definitely more accessible out of the 3, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. And no pun intended, I was being serious. Okay, hopefully with Fallout 4 you got the idea how Zen Studio implements RPG mechanics into their pinball tables. So with Skyrim being RPG heavy, you can expect this shit to be bonkers, and it is. So I created a character, made an orc, then Alduin attacks and breathes fire on the floor. So I had to escape with Hadvar through the paths without flames. Trying my best, I just kept running into fire. And then he does it again to change it up. God damn it. So at this point I found some weapons, picked the mace, and then Hadvar said,
See that? Guards. Maybe we can reason with them. Hold on now.
but I played this game before, and I know there's no reasoning with the Stormcloaks. So then I tried to put my balls on them so I could whack the shit out of them.
Skill increased.
So at this point I find a cave, which I assume is the one under Helgen. I find some gold, moonshine, and an encounter. I kill the bandit and get some loot, but in order to collect any kind of loot from encounters, dungeons, or caves, you actually have to hit one of the sides to get it. So I find some sweet ass loot, put it on, and I get ready for the next quest, which is finding Bleak Falls. And I spent about 45 minutes trying to finish it. Listen, this one is hard. Before I get into that, I want to briefly go over what this one has to offer as much as I can, because I couldn't get nowhere near as far as I did with the other ones.
Hey, you. You're finally awake. Who are you?
This one's pretty cool. You get to choose from different races that have different attributes. However, some are oddly omitted, especially the fact that you can't choose females. I don't know why. Regardless, a character that you make you could keep indefinitely if you wish, so the progress that you've made, whether it be from the story or from the loot or leveling up, whichever, you get to continue on from wherever you left off. And this is also important because there's more than just weapons and armor in the game. There's actually crafting materials that you could gather that you could go to an inn and use it to craft whatever you can in Skyrim, potions, weapons, armor, etc. That being said, there's an inventory system where you'll use it to, just like Skyrim, to manage everything. Now, pinball controls are not made for inventory management, but it works well enough and it gets the job done. It's also a cool feature that stays true to the game. I mean, most of Skyrim you're playing and looking through your inventory. Anyways, there are 11 main quests to do, and that's a lot. Between doing quests, you could explore Skyrim. There are random encounters. You could choose to engage them or to flee. A day-night cycle, caves, and also a lockpick minigame that I've done once, but it was off recording. And apparently there's fights with dragons. Now, like Fallout with the Fat Man and Doom with the Demon Mode, I'm sure there's a lot of little things that are not shown in the table guide. Some that you have to explore. And that's cool and all, but let's talk about the difficulty. This is a very tough table for me, because about everything is at an angle and requires pretty high precision shots with little room for error. The upper left flipper often got in the way, so I have to know the playfield to know when to use the right flipper instead of the left for certain shots. Now, I don't mind the difficulty because I know you have to put time and effort into these tables to get the most out of them. Unfortunately, I just couldn't put in the time during this recording. Listen, I never thought I'd be interested in pinball or have fun playing it. This is not my type of genre, but for any game or developer to exceed my expectations of what it is, it has to be doing something right. I had no real point in making this video other than to share, so maybe people like me who saw the game and never gave it a second look because of the word pinball could enjoy the game as well. But that's the great thing about YouTube. It's a huge ass community that shares information, and we get to find games that we haven't had much exposure to. So consider clicking the like button if you want to give other people a chance to see this, because the way YouTube works, this is the only way it circulates. Regardless, have fun in life and be excellent to one another. Bye.
Having these bogus nightmares on that.